here again in the Pronunciation English Language, Pronunciation Lessons, Learn English how with Judy. And of course, our topic for today is about the present perfect, of course. But first and foremost, of course, if you are still not our subscriber, don't ever forget to hit the bell button first to subscribe, and also you can follow us in our Facebook page, Pronunciation English Language, and also please don't ever forget to share our video, and please do hit the like for this video. Anyways, to continue, of course, our topic for today is about the present perfect. Yes, the present perfect actually is a grammatical combination of the present tense and a perfect aspect that is used to express a past event that has present consequences. The term is used particularly in the context of English grammar to refer to forms like I have finished. Yes, we use the present perfect simple have or has plus the past participle to talk about past actions or states which are still connected to the present. Always do remember that. And of course, we often use the present perfect to say what we've done in an unfinished time period, such as today, this week, and this year, and etc. And with expressions such as so far, until, now, before, and etc. Actually, the present perfect tense is indeed simple and easy if you try to understand and use it the right way. Yes, it seems to be confusing to some, though the tense has a very simple structure. Yes, however, anything can be learned. And what is the present perfect tense? Yes, this is a big question mark. Actually, the present perfect tense is employed in a sentence to represent an action that just happened in the recent past and still has its effect in the present, or an action that represents an indefinite time in the past. The present perfect is used to describe, of course, an action or situation that started in the past and continues in the present. Example, I will give you an example for this. I have lived in Dasma, Cavite since 1989. Equals, of course, I still do. And an action performed during a period that has not yet finished. Do you understand? Another example. She has been to the cinema twice this week. Equals, and the week isn't over yet. So do you understand? Of course, so to understand easily about a present perfect, of course, the present perfect tense can be used to talk about something that happened at an unknown time. The next one is something that happened. Something that happened in the past and continues now. The next one is something that happened repeatedly in the past. The next one is something that finished recently. The next one is something that changed over time. Yes, so another thing about the present perfect tense. Yes, present perfect tense is formed by combining have or has with the past participle of the action verb. Has is used for the third person singular, he, she, or it, while have is used for everything else. Always do remember that. The tense is used to discuss something that started in the past and continues into the general formula of the present perfect tense is as a subject plus have, has, plus past participle, and the rest of the sentence. The structure of the present perfect tense actually can be analyzed with a reference to positive, negative, interrogative, and negative interrogative types of sentence. And structure of the present perfect tense. Okay, I will give you the structure of the present tense. For positive, subject plus have, has, plus past participle, plus the rest of the sentence. For the negative, subject plus have, has, plus not, plus past participle, and the rest of the sentence. For the interrogative, have, has, plus subject, plus past participle, and the rest of the sentence. The next one is negative interrogative. Have, has, plus subject, plus not, plus past participle, and the rest of the sentence. Or haven't, hasn't, plus subject, plus past participle, and the rest of the sentence. So I will give an example for this. Of course, for positive, number one is I have finished my work. For negative, I have not finished my work. For the interrogative, have I finished my work? For a negative interrogative, haven't I finished my work? The number two example, you have finished your work. The next one is you have not finished your work. The next one is have you finished your work? The next one is haven't you finished your work? The next one is he has finished his work. For negative, he has not finished his work. For the interrogative, has he finished his work? For the negative interrogative, of course, hasn't he finished his work? The next one is she has finished her work. The next one for negative, she has not finished her work. The next one is has she finished her work? The next one for negative interrogative, hasn't she finished her work? The next one, last but definitely not the least, positive. They have finished their work. For negative, they have not finished their work. For interrogative, have they finished their work? For negative interrogative, haven't they finished their work? So actually, there is a rules, yes, to be followed when using the present perfect tense. The very first thing that you will have to learn before you start using present perfect tense is how past participles are formed. In the English language, a past participle is formed by adding an ed, yes, to the base form of the verb in most cases. However, there are a number of irregular verbs that have different spellings and do not in any way follow the concept actually. Follow the concept of adding ed to the base form like regular verbs. You can take a look, of course, at the extensive list of irregular verbs to analyze how these verbs are in their past participle form. Yes, so the next point to remember is that a sentence with the past perfect form of the verb uses two verbs. Yes, a helping verb and a main verb. Have and has are the two helping verbs that are used. Have is used when the pronouns I, you, they. Actually, the present perfect tense can be used. Yes, the number one is to denote an action or event that happened or started in the past and still has its impact or some connection to the subject in the present. The next one is to indicate an action that happened in the past and continues to occur in the present. The next one is to connect the events of the present to the events that happened in the past. So examples for of the present perfect tense. Of course, I will give an example for this. Pronouns, nouns, and of course examples. I have worked as a teacher for 2 years. So the explanation for this is she has worked as a teacher for 2 years, or I. So the statement is in the past tense. Do you understand? It shows that she worked as a teacher for 2 years. And she is not working as a teacher right now. Hence, we use for it. So I hope you understand. And the next example is you have worked as a teacher for 2 years. So the statement is in the past tense, and it shows that she worked as a teacher for 2 years. Next example is we have worked as a teacher for 2 years. The next one is he has worked as a teacher for 2 years. The next one is she has worked as a teacher for 2 years. Then next one, they have worked as teachers for 2 years. Next one is it has been here the whole time. The next example is Michael has worked as a teacher for 2 years. The next one is Devika and Priscilla have worked as teachers for 2 years. Actually, we have worked as teachers for 2 years. This is a present perfect. Yes, actually, the explanation of a 1 and 5, and 1 until 5, 1 to 5, is just have similarities. So we can jump to the next. And it has been here the whole time. Actually, him saying, I have been here the whole time, is a reference to the fact that he has been on earth since before time existed. Actually, there is a frequently asked question on the present perfect tense. So, what is the present perfect tense? The present perfect tense actually is employed in a sentence to represent an action that just happened in the recent past and still has its effect in the present, or an action that represents an indefinite time in the past. So, what is the definition of the present perfect tense? Yes, actually, the Oxford Learner's Dictionary defines the present perfect tense as the form of a verb that expresses an action done in a time period up to the present, form in English with the present tense of have and the past participle of the verb, as in I have eaten. So, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, the present perfect tense is defined as the form of the verb used for actions or events that have been completed or have happened in a period of time up to now. And just to rewind, for we remember things about this tense, of course, what is the formula of the present perfect tense? Of course, the general formula of the present perfect tense is as, of course, to remember, subject plus have has plus past participle and the rest of the sentence. So what are the rules to be followed when using the present perfect tense? Yes, the point that you should keep in mind when using the present perfect tense is that it has two verbs, a helping verb and a main verb. Have and has are the two helping verbs that are used. This is followed by the main verb, which appears in its past participle form. Example of the present perfect, of course. A few examples of sentences using the present perfect form of the verb. Okay. Rina has not reached home yet. The next one is all the children have finished their assignments. The next one is Renita has eaten all the mangoes. The next one, I have not watched the movie yet. The next one is has she still not gone to the hospital? So what are the uses of the present perfect tense? Actually, the present perfect tense can be used to denote an action or event that happened or started in the past and still has its impact or some connection to the subject in the present. Always do remember that. To indicate an action that happened in the past and continues to occur in the present, and to connect the events of the present to the events that happened in the past. So that's all for now. Anyway, of course, check your understanding of the present perfect tense. Of course, this topic is for the next time. Anyways, that's all for now. And if you have any question, don't ever hesitate to inbox us in our Facebook page, Pronunciation English Language, and also just follow in our Facebook page. And again, if you're still not our subscriber, don't ever forget to hit the bell button first to subscribe, and also don't ever forget to share our video and hit the like for this video. Anyways, thank you so much. God bless and keep safe. Until the next time. Bye-bye.